Good morning, Year 2. It's great to see you for our first English lesson of the week. So today, the date is Monday, the 1st of March, 2021, and the learning objective is note ideas. So please pause the video here to write the date and learning objective in your English book. Well done, Year 2. So this week is our last week of online learning. So it'd be amazing to see you flying high in your writing, ready for returning back to school next week, which I'm really looking forward to. So as you can see, it's a little bit different on the screen alongside the date and learning objective today. Usually there is the learning journey of the week or the thinking boxes to success. I've purposely not shown them on this slide as we're going to explore a text together and then have a think about whether you can find out from that what we're going to be focusing on this week. So I'm going to share that model with you and I'm going to read it aloud to you. As I read this text to you, I'd like you to have a think about the following questions. What is the text type? So for example, is it instructions? Is it a narrative? Is it a non-fiction? So is it sharing facts? I'd like you to have a think about the text type as I'm reading. Have a think about what are the key features. What is the purpose? So why have I written this? Who is the audience? So who is it for? And what grammar skills have been used? I know it's a lot to think about, so don't worry if you don't remember to think about all of those things, as there's going to be time to discuss these questions once I've finished reading it to you. Dear Miss Heard, I am writing to tell you about my time whilst learning at home. Over the last few weeks, I have really enjoyed spending time learning to ride my bike, and I have liked baking with Daddy. We have made the most delicious brownies. I feel really proud of the presentation I created on Grace Darling and the RNLI, for I spent a lot of time on this. I put a lot of effort into practicing my ICT skills so the layout was appealing to the audience. At times, I have found focusing on my learning difficult, for I want to play with my favourite toys. To overcome this, I decided to organise a routine for the day, so I had time for breaks. I am feeling a little nervous about coming back to school, but I am really excited to see my friends. I know that it will feel different to start with, but I will get used to it quickly. I have a couple of questions for you. Will all of the Year 2 children be a bubble together? Will we wash our hands as often as before? I am looking forward to seeing you soon. From Freya. Well done, Year 2. Super listening as I was sharing that with you. Well done. What I'd love you to do now, Year 2, is pause the video here and either in the classroom or at home, discuss the following questions. What is the text type? What are the key features? What is the purpose and audience? What grammar skills have been used? Well done, Year 2. Thank you for sharing your thinking. So let's have a look together. So we're going to develop the thinking boxes to success. So I've zoomed in on the purpose and the audience and the key features in particular. So this week you are going to be writing a recount. So you'll be writing about something that's already happened. So your time of learning at home, or if you're in school, your time of learning in school with the Year 1 children at times. And you're going to be writing this recount in the style of a letter. So you're going to be writing this letter to me, and we can share this in school next week as well with Mrs. Wolford and Mrs. Tweerhazen and the other children in Year 2. So I'm very excited to receive these letters. So the purpose of this letter, so the reason why you are writing this letter, is to share information on something that has happened. So you're writing about your time, particularly during term 3 and the start of term 4 now that we are in week 2. The key features of the letter are to start with Dear Miss Heard and introduce the letter. So for example, at the start of the letter I wrote, I'm writing to tell you about my time whilst learning at home. Of course, this will sound a little bit different if you've been learning in school within the year 1 and year 2 bubble. Another key feature is to write in first person. So for example, using the pronouns I, we, my, because it's happened to you. Use the past tense because it's already happened. Use descriptive words that the reader feels like they are there with you. So myself and year 2 as your audience can picture all of the things that you're describing. It's also really important to describe how you are feeling and what you were thinking when events happened. Okay, so we're going to come back to the model now, year 2. And what I'd like you to do is either at home or the classroom, perhaps read the text again and see if you can identify the grammar skills we have focused on so far in year 2. So these are skills that you've been focusing on in the classroom leading up to Christmas, but also whilst you've been learning at home. So can you spot examples of capital letters and full stops, question marks, noun phrases, so we've got an adjective before the noun, and coordinating conjunctions. So just to remind you of some examples of coordinating conjunctions, there might be and, but, so, for, or. Well, there could be yet, but I haven't used yet. I've given you a clue there. So see if you can spot these different grammar skills in the model. Remember, when spotting coordinating conjunctions, they join together ideas. So there needs to be a main clause, which makes sense on its own, a coordinating conjunction, followed by another main clause, which makes sense on its own. So if you spot a coordinating conjunction, so for example, if you spot but, you need to check that either side of the word but, that the main clauses make sense on their own. Okay, so please pause the video here to have a look at the model. Well done, year 2. Okay, I'm going to share with you some key grammar skills in the writing. So, as you can see here, I've highlighted them in red. So, thinking about the range of coordinating conjunctions that have been used, we have and, for, so, but, and but. So I was really thinking, how can I challenge myself to not always use and, as I know I learned about using and in year 1. I was thinking, how can I challenge myself to use a range? So that's why I've used also for, so, and but. Here are a couple of examples of expanded noun phrases where we have the adjective before the noun. So if we look at this noun phrase, delicious brownies, delicious is the adjective, brownies is the noun. I think when it comes to writing my letter in the week, I'll be thinking, could I challenge myself to include more than one adjective before the noun? Another noun phrase is favourite toys. So by using these noun phrases, it's adding detail for the reader to picture what you are describing. As you can see at the bottom here, question marks have been used to punctuate questions. So a question is when we are asking the reader something. So you are expecting an answer. So here it says, I have a couple of questions for you. Will all of the year 2 children be a bubble together? Will we wash our hands as often as before? So Miss Heard and the year 2 team will need to answer these questions either by replying an answer on Class Dojo or whilst as we share them in school together as well. So well done for all of your efforts so far, year 2. On the screen now, you can see your task for today. So your task is to note ideas underneath each question using bullet points. It's really important that you only note ideas rather than writing full sentences. Okay, that is the skill of noting. So by noting, you're only writing a group of words. As tomorrow, we're going to be progressing on to planning sentences, in particular compound sentences using coordinating conjunctions. So today you're just jotting down your ideas to start with. It'd be amazing if you could write the question in your book, or you may, with learning at home, an adult at home might like to write the questions for you. It's up to you, Year 2. So the first question is, what have you enjoyed whilst learning at home? And I've put, or at school here. So in purple, that is the option for if you are the Year 2 children in school. So for example, based on the model that I wrote, I'd write bullet point, learning to ride my bike, bullet point, baking with Daddy. As this was, of course, in the first sentence here, over the last few weeks, I've really enjoyed spending time learning to ride my bike, and I've liked baking with Daddy. We have made the most delicious brownies, okay? The next question is, which piece of learning do you feel really proud of? So again, just bullet point your ideas underneath. What have you found challenging? How did you overcome this? How do you feel about coming back to school? Or if you're already in school, the question is, how do you feel about all the children returning to school? And lastly, what questions do you have? So it'd be great to have a think about 2 or 3 questions, or you may only have 1, but I suggest probably having a maximum of 3. So it'd be great to have a think about that. So well done, Year 2. I really look forward to seeing your ideas for your letter and how these develop over the week. So have lots of fun doing this, and I look forward to seeing your amazing learning on Class Dojo. Well done, Year 2.